Hello everybody, welcome to iExamB's Legal B. This is Amrita, your law faculty at iExamB. In this video, I'm going to continue with the series of SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination. Topic wise series मैंने start किया है, in which I'm conducting MCQs also, type of MCQs, how you have to solve the questions that are coming before you, and also the concepts from different acts. इस वीडियो में हम लोग ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं. इट इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एनैक्टमेंट एंड मेनी क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड फ्रॉम दिस एरिया इन सेबी ग्रेड ए एग्जामिनेशन फॉर लॉ ऑफिसर. सो प्लीज फोकस ऑन दिस एक्ट. This act is very conceptual in nature and the syllabus is also limited for SEBI exam. So you don't need much time. Only thing is that you need to have conceptual clarity. इस वीडियो में हम लोग सेल, मॉर्गेज और लीज इन तीन कंसेप्ट्स को बहुत ही अच्छे से समझेंगे. वी विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ऑल दीज थ्री टर्म्स एंड हैव कंप्लीट कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी ऑन इट फर्स्ट एंड देन लेट अस चेक आउट सम क्वेश्चंस एज वेल. Also, one more update, all mock tests are free at iExamB. So visit iExamB website and check out all the mock tests, attempt the mock tests and prepare 50% faster. Transfer of Property Act में से सेल, मॉर्गेज एंड लीज ये तीनों भी टॉपिक्स आपको तीनों भी चैप्टर्स जो हैं आपको सेबी एग्जामिनेशन के सिलेबस में है, जो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसके अलावा आपको कुछ बेसिक डेफिनेशंस एंड टर्म्स करना होगा फ्रॉम द टीपी एक्ट स्टार्टिंग. That is what I can recommend, as you should have conceptual clarity always. Even if it is not directly mentioned in the syllabus of your exam, you should have basic idea what is transfer of property and to which kinds of properties this act is applicable, whether only to immovable or whether to both immovable as well as movable properties, etc. Sale की अगर हम बात करें, sale is actually a transfer of ownership. And that transfer of ownership is in exchange of price paid or promised, price partly paid or partly promised. This is defined under section 54 of the Transfer of Property Act. यानी कि सेल में complete transfer हो जाता है ownership का, ownership के साथ सारे rights का, and that is in exchange of money that is there in the form of price that can be paid or promised also. वही अगर आप mortgage में देखोगे, Section 58 covers this concept. Mortgage is actually not ownership transfer but just transfer of an interest that is in a specific immovable property. यानी कि आप कुछ interest आपका उस property में transfer कर रहे हो for certain purpose. What is that purpose? Security purposes के लिए. That is for a loan. That can be an existing or a future debt as well. It can be a pecuniary liability basically, or a loan or any payment of money which you have already advanced. उसे secure करने के लिए आप mortgage transaction में enter हो सकते हो. This is very important, I would say, for any kind of examination of this kind. कोई banking examinations के लिए अगर आप prepare कर रहे हो, banking law officer या फिर SEBI, इन सब exams के लिए mortgage I would suggest is a very questionable area. So please focus on this. इसका conceptual clarity ये होना चाहिए आपको कि what is the purpose and what is the nature. In sale you are transferring entire ownership rights and everything, but in mortgage you are having limits. You are transferring only interest in the property and that too for certain purposes. Whereas in lease you are transferring the right to enjoy the property for a certain time, or that can be perpetual as well. That can be perpetual in nature, means वो recurring होता रहेगा, for permanent भी समझ सकते हो आप उसे. And it is in return of again a price paid or promised or anything that is valuable in nature, but वो periodically आना चाहिए. That means it is to be rendered periodically. That can be lease rent. So this is for certain time only and that is the right to enjoy that property is being transferred. यानी कि आप उस जगह पर या तो होटल का बिजनेस कर सकते हो या फिर आप कोई भी तरीके का ऑक्यूपेशन कैरी आउट कर सकते हो. That is for example lease. It can be residential lease also. It can be agricultural lease also. But TP Act के अंदर ज़्यादातर residential occupational lease cover किए जाते हैं. Section 105 of the TP Act defines what is lease. So are you understanding what is the difference between all these three concepts? And they are completely different. Sale, transfer of ownership. Mortgage, transfer of an interest in immovable property. And lease is the transfer of right to enjoy that property for certain period of time or perpetuity. अब हमने ये तो समझ लिया है कि बेसिक ग्रास रूट लेवल पर क्या डिफरेंस है एंड क्या कीवर्ड्स होने चाहिए इन तीनों के डेफिनेशंस में दैट हैव बीन पिक्ड फ्रॉम द रिस्पेक्टिव सेक्शंस 54, 58 एंड 105. अब कुछ क्वेश्चंस भी देख लेते हैं. बिफोर दैट लेट अस चेक द वेटेज आल्सो वंस. एज यू कैन सी चैप्टर 3, 4 एंड 5 you are having from the TP Act in your syllabus. Now let us check out some questions. The mortgagor ostensibly sells the mortgaged property in mortgage by deposit of title deeds, by conditional sale, by simple mortgage, mortgage and a renewed lease, English mortgage, and the answer is B, that is mortgaged by conditional sale. Mortgage by conditional sale is a very important topic from the Transfer of Property Act. Mortgage by conditional sale is a very important topic from the Transfer of Property Act, and many questions can be expected from this particular area, because in this case ostensibly the property is actually sold until the mortgage is taking place, and the condition is that on the default of payment of money, that sale will become absolute, and if suppose the money is returned back, then the sale will become void. So this is a very commonly used kind of mortgage in practical life as well, and questions can also be asked from this area. A mortgagee in possession has the right to spend money for preservation of money of property, spend money to support mortgager's title to the property, spend money to make his own title good against the mortgagor, both A and C. That means spending money for preservation of property also, and spending money to make the title of mortgagor also good. A, B and C या फिर सारे ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं. स्पेंडिंग मनी फॉर प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी, सपोर्टिंग मॉर्गेजर्स टाइटल टू द प्रॉपर्टी, और टू मेकिंग टाइटल गुड अगेंस्ट द मॉर्गेजर. So the answer is all of the above. Mortgagee who is in possession, he has all of these rights. These are basically rights of the mortgagee who is in possession, that is covered under section 72 of the act. Mortgagee may spend such money as is necessary for preservation of mortgage money from this property from destruction, forfeiture, sale, for supporting the mortgager's title to the property, from making the title good thereto against the mortgagor, and when the mortgage property is a renewable leasehold, then for the renewal of the lease as well. Now this point is important. यहाँ से कुछ आप questions भी expect कर सकते हैं. That means अगर कोई property leasehold की है तो उसके renewable leasehold के लिए lease के renewal के लिए भी rights हो सकते हैं mortgagee के पास. So this is one thing which you need to note down if a question comes. So section 72 is important for that purpose. Next question is from lease. Which of the following is a valid consideration in lease of immovable property? Price paid or promised, premium amount, money or anything of value that is rendered periodically or on a special occasion, as in case of it can be a rent also, both premium as well as money that is rendered periodically, both will be given, or all the three, that is price paid or promised, premium, money or anything of value that is rendered periodically, that can be on special occasions known as rent. क्या ये सारे valid considerations है lease के लिए? And the answer is right, that is E. All of these are valid considerations. Section 105 is talking about all of these things. That means lease of immovable property is transfer of a right to enjoy that property that can be for a certain time, and in that it can be for perpetuity also. And for consideration, price can be given, money के form में हो सकता है, crops के form में हो सकता है, anything that is of value, any services can be rendered, that can be rendered periodically, etc. And 105 only defines leaser, leasee, premium and rent also, what these concepts are. Lease has to be made by a registered instrument if it is reserving a yearly rent, if it is made for a period more than 6 months, if it is made for a period more than 3 years, in all the cases when subject matter of that lease is an immovable property. So when it is made by a registered instrument, whether there is requirement in all the cases or whether in certain cases only registered instrument is required, this is what is the question. It is a very interesting question and practically also this is very important, and ये आपको बाकी के topics के लिए भी पूछा जा सकता है for sale as well as mortgage, when the property value is 100 or above that, then registered instrument लगता है. Like that for lease, if it is reserving a yearly rent, then section 107 says that for that we need to have a registered instrument. Now the last question for today's discussion, as per Transfer of Property Act, transfer of property by act of parties is applicable to whom? To which kind of properties basically? ये मैंने आपको वीडियो के स्टार्टिंग में भी कहा कि ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होगा आपके लिए. मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टीज, इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टीज, बोथ मूवेबल, इमूवेबल, all immovable properties and movable properties which are hypothecated or pledged ones. Now here it becomes a bit tricky for you to answer. All the immovable properties and some movable properties as are defined under section 3 of the TP Act. ये options ने काफ़ी tricky बना दिया है इस question को actually, and that's why I told you in the starting only कि applicability of this act you should be very clear with. Similar thing I told you for Partnership Act also. You should always be clear for arbitration also कि इंटरनेशनल कमर्शियल आर्बिट्रेशंस को एप्लीकेबल है या नहीं है. फॉर एग्जांपल आई टोल्ड यू दैट इन प्रीवियस वीडियो ऑफ दिस सीरीज. अगर आपने बाकी के सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए इस तरीके के वीडियो मिस की है, सो प्लीज गो इन द प्लेलिस्ट एंड चेक आउट ऑल द वीडियोज which are providing you concepts along with questions. It is very beneficial for you as it gives you an idea of how the questions are asked and how you have to handle such kind of questions as well, along with the conceptual clarity which you are getting. So the answer for this is C, that is both movable and immovable properties. It is a very simple answer, only you have been tricked by the options. That is what is the thing. Chapter 2 itself says transfer property by act of parties, whether movable or immovable. So this part is applicable to both. And then the next part, B1, is applicable only to immovable properties. Like this, you have to prepare the Transfer of Property Act very conceptually and logically. And if you have your concepts clear, you will definitely score very well. If you get questions from this topic, you can score it, you can solve it very easily. इसी तरीके से सारे subjects को prepare कीजिए, and all the very best for your preparation, for your examination. Prepare 50% faster with iExamB. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.